Hi, it's Maggie the Irish Gypsy here to bring you your October 2021 general reading. We are looking at the first half of October, so from the 1st to the 15th. This reading is for the water sign of Scorpio. Welcome, everyone. I hope you're all doing well, as I always do. Thanks for taking the time to watch this or any of the videos on my YouTube channel. For all of your likes, shares, subscribing, donations, feedback, comments, those of you who reach out for personal readings, thank you for each and every bit of it. It all matters. So this reading is for Scorpio for the first 2 weeks of October 2021. That's if your sun, moon, rising, or Venus sign is in Scorpio. It's relevant if you're cross-watching for a Scorpio. Of course, it's a general reading, so it's going to resonate a little differently for everyone. So watch all of your signs for any additional insight and perspective they may provide. And if you find that anything in the reading resonates with you enough that you'd like to reach out for a personal reading, perhaps take a deeper look at something for yourself or as a gift for someone else, you can click on the description link below. Click on that little arrow, which will show you contact details, my email address, maggie1mcguire@gmail.com. Feel free to email me directly. I'd be delighted to hear from you. I can usually respond the same day with more information. I do offer a wide variety of readings, and I do readings full time. It's all that I do, so I'm pretty diligent about timely scheduling. So message me if you're interested. Okay, Scorpio, let's see what the first 2 weeks of October look like for you. I am using the Tarot of Dreams and clarifying with the Gilded Tarot Royale. Okay, Scorpio, we begin with the Nine of Wands. This is a card that represents, it's sometimes called the Wounded Warrior card because it usually represents somebody who's been through a long journey, a number of battles, and they've left their marks, their wounds, their scars on them. They're close to finishing the end of what might be a very difficult or has turned out to be a difficult journey because tens represent cycles ending, and here we are, or full achievement, and here we are at the 9. This is somebody who may have run into yet another obstacle or hurdle or challenge on their travels or in this situation, and they're feeling discouraged, depressed, maybe thinking about giving up, not sure if it's worth trying to push through to the end. With the Hermit, taking a step back, reflecting, contemplating, using your experience and life's wisdom to date to try and find an answer or a way through something. It can represent kind of taking a step back. I would be cautious about this energy with the Nine of Wands and the Hermit, though, because it could lead to kind of being a hermit in a bad way, kind of getting stuck in a bit of a depressive cycle. But it does represent kind of taking a step back because you're like, what am I doing here? How long am I going to be doing this for? Or how long is this going to last? Do I really want to? Is this really worth kind of continuing? And it implies that whatever this situation is, it's been going on for some time. Next, we have the World. Completion. It's the last major arcana card in the tarot. It's where the Fool's journey ends. We begin the tarot journey with the Fool, who has a 0 on his card, and all the cards after that are the Fool's journey through a particular cycle in the Fool's life. The Fool is us, right? Learning, growing, evolving, succeeding, failing, all of that kind of stuff until we get to the end. It's a card of finality, of achievement, of graduation. You've learned everything you can in this cycle and you're moving on to something else, leveling up, and a new landscape with new opportunities. With the 10 of Cups, happy home, marriage, childbirth. This is a very a positive 10 energy to accept. This is a card that represents feeling, it's called the happily ever after card, right? It represents being at a place where you feel like everything has finally come together in the way that you need it to be, that you want it to be. You're content. There's harmony, love, joy, a feeling of completeness and fulfillment in anything to do with home, family, marriage, that energy. So this might be like just reaching a point where you feel everything is connected. It could be a card about marriage, getting married. But if that's the case, it looks like it may have been a long time coming, and it may be a long time yet. Next, we have the Lovers. The Lovers usually represents a pretty karmic connection between two people, almost always love and romance, like boyfriend, girlfriend, husband, wife. And it usually represents a connection that has a fair amount of passion and connectedness in it too. But the Lover's card can represent, it typically represents, needing to make a pretty significant and profound decision that's going to significantly affect the life and future of this relationship or lack thereof. Sometimes it can represent making a choice in a third party situation, like choosing between two people. And, you know, the decision might be about the relationship itself, like where are we going, if we're going anywhere with this relationship. And sometimes it can be about another area of life, but which might significantly impact the relationship as well. So it's almost always about making decisions and choices. With the Emperor, an older person, a person of some status, seniority, could be your husband, your longtime boyfriend, or wife or girlfriend, showing up as the Emperor, which is pretty masculine energy, but this is a general reading, so it could be female as well. It's also attached to the sign of Aries, so it might be an Aries person that you're involved with. The Emperor can sometimes show up for a father or father figure, so that might be relevant to someone here. From the bottom of the deck, the overall energy for the first 2 weeks of October is the Hanging Man, which can represent, you know, that you're not being the aggressor or pursuer, you're not being action-oriented or decisive. It can represent feeling like you're in stasis and limbo, because the Hanging Man hangs there traditionally from the Tree of Life, so he's gaining knowledge and information because he's watching something playing out, but he's not taking any kind of decisive action. He's just waiting. Honestly, for some of you, this looks like you're waiting for, some of you, this looks like a relationship with somebody that you feel very connected to. You may even feel like they're your soulmate or kindred spirit, twin flame energy. And you may want to, and I feel like this is a relationship you've probably been in for some time. It feels like you want to move up to the next level, whatever this 10 of Cups is. It could be moving in with each other, buying your first home together, getting married, because this represents a leveling up, a graduation, and a moving into another stage. But it also feels like you've been waiting for this for a long time, and it feels like it's perhaps not going to be coming around. And maybe you're thinking, you know, I've spent so much time already. Is it worth investing more time in here? So it could be that you're waiting for this to happen, this relationship to move up. It could be that you're waiting and trying to make a decision yourself whether this is worth continuing or not. Because for a lot of you, it's going to be about the relationship itself. For some of you, it might be in another area of life. For example, it might be, you know, waiting for your partner to retire, you know, and they're just working and working and working, or something to do with that. So let's clarify the Hanging Man. The Queen of Cups, there you are, Cancer, Pisces, Scorpio, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus. We have the Devil here, which typically represents negative cycles, negative or toxic cycles. The Devil can represent addictions, obsessions. It always represents obsessive energy, which is why it often shows up for addictions, whether it's the classic addictions like drugs and alcohol, substance abuse. It could be addicted to a relationship. It represents something that, while the thing itself or the person itself might not necessarily be unhealthy or harmful, this represents your relationship with this person, place, or situation or thing has become obsessive to the point that it's unhealthy. But it just keeps going around and around because something about it kind of keeps drawing you back in, and something in your head keeps saying, I need this, right? That's the nature of the Devil. That's why it's a card that shows up for addictions, right? Because the Devil enslaves and entraps through allurement, through something in you that says, oh, I need this, right? So, and this is clarifying the Hanging Man, right? With your energy and the Devil card energy. So this is a situation or relationship which, while it may not have started out to be unhealthy, it looks like it has grown unhealthy. Now, whatever the nature of that brokenness is, I mean, for some of you, I mean, it could be anything. It could be actual substance abuse in a relationship with you or your partner. Whatever the negative aspect of this is, the aspect of it that hurts you and isn't good for you, it's still difficult for you to pull away from, because the Lover's card indicates the closeness of the relationship you have with this person, or the toxicity of the situation that's affecting your relationship. And it's quite clear with the Nine of Wands. The Nine of Wands is that energy of like, it's the darkest before dawn energy. It's like, ugh, I don't know if I want to keep going on with this. That's the energy of it. Let's clarify that Nine of Wands and Hermit. It might be, I mean, the Hermit can represent being on a solitary path, and part of what is not good about this relationship for you is that maybe in this relationship you're alone a lot. Maybe this person is in and out, or and off and on, and maybe you're just tired of being alone. It could be that for some of you as well. I mean, it's a general reading, so the actual specifics may resonate a little differently, but the energy fundamentally remains the same. Death and the Ten of Swords. These are both cards that represent endings. The Ten of Swords is surrendering to a challenging or painful, and it's surrendering to an end. You know, it's the difficult part of surrendering to an end so that you can have a new beginning. It can be a card of betrayal, you know, but it's coming to the end. You know, it's being at the end of something. And death, of course, is a final ending, the ground being cleared out so that rebirth can occur. I think you're considering whether or not it's time to just, for some of you, the attitude might be, you know, maybe I just should accept the inevitable ending that this relationship or this decision, this thing is not, whether it's a relationship or a situation that's going to affect the relationship, that it's never going to get to where I want it to get. Like, the World and the Ten of Cups seems to be what the goal is, or the desire is for you to take this to the next level, to have that kind of final, you know, like marriage, right? A great happy marriage, and not having to worry about all the stuff you worry about when you're single, or, you know, all of that kind of stuff. But it feels like here you're like, I don't think this is ever going to get there. And so you're thinking possibly that it's time to end that, or just to accept that this is the way it's going to be. So for some of you, it's going to be, okay, maybe I just need to accept this is the way that it's going to be. I don't want to leave this person, therefore I have to make a way to find peace with this. For some of you, it's going to be, I don't think it's ever going to go that way, and because of that, maybe it's time for me to move on. You know, again, it's a general reading, so the answer to what you need to do here is not going to be the same for everyone, of course. But it's just a feeling of being tired of waiting, tired of being alone so much, tired of struggling with the choice, do I stay, do I leave, because you feel that, you know, that devil card energy is like, I can't leave this person, I need to be with this person, or I can't leave this thing to be with my person, you know. I mean, it could also be a toxic work job situation, or somebody that's a workaholic, and it just has, over time, it's had this eroding effect on the relationship as well. Clarify the World. The Hanged Man again, so we have the Hanged Man twice. Yeah, you've been waiting for this level of achievement, graduation, so that you can move on. Waiting. Clarify the Ten of Cups. The Two of Cups. So we have the Two of Cups and the Lovers, which speaks of, you know, the fact that that either you are, or you strongly feel like you and this person are soulmates, are kindred spirits. The Hermit again. See, I don't like this though, because we have the Hermit twice, and in a relationship that's represented by the Lovers and the Hermit, you shouldn't feel like this very often. It's like you're in a relationship, but it often feels like you're alone. And waiting for this to move forward, and it's just not. Clarify the Lovers. The World. Look at all these repeating cards. We've got the Hanging Man twice. We've got the Hermit twice. We've got the World twice. We've got the Lovers and the Two of Cups, which is very similar. You're waiting for this relationship. It's either the relationship or some situation that's preventing the relationship from moving into this Ten of Cups, lovely, happy home energy, whether it's getting married, moving in together, purchasing your first home together, retiring so that you can spend what years you have left kind of being together, being happy. You know, it's about the relationship moving forward, but it's not. Clarify the Emperor. The Six of Cups. History, historical connection, connections from the past. I feel here like, because this is all also clarifying the Lovers. So this is definitely a long-term relationship, a very connected relationship. Sometimes the Six of Cups is considered the other soulmate card besides the Two of Cups and the Lovers, and you have all three here. So there's lots of karmic energy connecting the two of you. Yeah, again, because this is a general reading, what the world and the Ten of Cups means to you might be different, you know. For some of you, it's waiting for this long-term relationship to go to marriage, or to move in together, or purchase your first home together, you know, something that makes the relationship feel much more solid and stable and contained. For some of you, it might be in another area of life, again, like work or career. Because somebody here is feeling alone a lot of the time, and they're tired of it. Tired of being alone, tired of feeling like they have to shoulder things on their own, tired of waiting, tired of being in a relationship that feels like it's so connected in terms of the bond between the two of you, but on a day-to-day basis, it still feels often like you're alone. But the difficulty, for example, in leaving the relationship, which is that Devil card energy, is that this other energy, the Lovers, the Two of Cups, is so seductive, right? I mean, soulmates aren't necessarily meant to be there with us physically for the rest of our lives. It's what we gain from that relationship and that connection. The knowledge we gain about ourselves, about the other person, about what it is to really relate to another person in a healthy way or in an unhealthy way. That's what stays with us. Those are the lessons and the value of the lessons we gain, which remain with us for the rest of our lives. But the person themselves don't necessarily stay with us for the rest of their life, our lives or their lives, right? Challenging. I think you're not quite sure what to do. I think it feels here like you go back and forth between, oh, if I just give it some more time, and then I'm tired of doing this over and over again, you know. Not quite sure yet. And it doesn't feel like there's any action being taken just quite yet. So any final messages, guidance, advice for Scorpio for the first 2 weeks of October? Oh, it's too many cards. Any final messages, guidance, advice for Scorpio? Judgment, which is similar to the Lover's card. It represents being at a crossroads. You're being called to take action, make a decision. And there's typically an air of finality about judgment. It means that whatever decision that you choose, whatever path you choose or don't choose, because not making a decision is a decision, that's probably what you're going to be stuck with for a long time, if not permanently. If you decide to just stay and have this, you know, and accept the way that it is, that's probably the way that it's going to remain. If you decide to leave, then that's probably going to be, you know, that's of course going to be a life path changer, right? Here we have the Lovers again. All these repeating cards. We have the Lovers again, a relationship at a crossroads. This is all about choices. Strength and the Empress. This is facing fears, doubts, insecurities, and also taking what can be a very challenging look at your own responsibility in this situation, the part that you've had to play for being in this situation as well, facing that and moving through that. The Empresses can, I think here it represents a card of self-love, self-indulgence, which comes from self-value. The Empress is the Emperor's natural mate, which is the Emperor here. But it feels perhaps here like you may be involved with somebody who might be showing up as an Emperor here, but isn't really acting like one. He's not treating his Empress like the Empress. You know, this is about self-love and self-care and being treated as somebody really, not in a negatively egotistical way, but this is about taking care of yourself and doing things that feel good because you're worth it, you know, kind of energy. It's a card of fertility, of abundance. We have this beautiful pregnant woman. She's surrounded by everything that implies abundance and security and luxury as well. It's a card of fertility, which means that the ground, the time is right for planting seeds to grow something different down the road. So I think whatever decision you make, and because this is a general reading, it's going to be different, right? The primary thing that you need to consider is your self-worth and self-value, and whether or not remaining in this situation or relationship is actually good for you. if you've done everything you can and the situation is still remaining, staying in this situation, especially with that devil card energy, may erode, you know, how you see yourself and how you value yourself. So it's something to be considered in any decision-making process about this relationship or about the situation that is affecting this relationship. So, doesn't feel super decisive for this period of time. It's only a short period of time, just 2 weeks, but it's food for thought. Okay, Scorpio, those are your messages for the first 2 weeks of October. I hope that you found them useful. If you did, if there's something you'd like to take a deeper look at, perhaps reach out for a personal reading. Click on that arrow below, that description link, which will show you my email address, Maggie1McGuire@gmail.com. I'd be happy to hear from you and even more happy to work with you. I will see you all in a couple of weeks for the October mid-month readings. Until then, stay safe and well, and I hope to see you back here again soon. Bye-bye.